Well, folks, now that we're familiar with the basics of Substance Designer, let's start setting up our interface and our graph to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new project. I'm going to click on this button, and this will allow us to create a new project. And here we're going to get several options. All we have here are templates, which are predefined configurations that have some specific nodes. Here we have a great variety, but in this case the one we are interested in is this one, Metallic Roughness, because we're going to be working with the Metallicity PBR workflow. However, we are also going to make some modifications to make it more practical to work with. So we're going to create our own custom template. I'm going to call it Custom PBR. And after we tweak it, we're going to export it as a template to use in our next video projects. Then, just like that, I hit OK. Okay, that's it. That's what we have. I'm going to give myself a little more space here. And these are the output nodes that we have right now. Base color, normal, roughness, metallicity, ambient occlusion, and high map, all from the PBR workflow. So, I'm going to drag some images over here so we can see them. I'm going to drag this image, which is a black and white noise. And if I connect this node here to the base color, you can see that it affects the color of the final material. If I connect it to the normal, it also affects the surface. Here, the intensity is a little bit low. I'm going to turn it up to make it more noticeable. And then, it's a little more noticeable. It's affecting the surface of this material. Well, there's the roughness. It also affects the visibility of the reflection. You can see there's kind of a noise, metallicity, ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion is going to require an extra node here, which we'll get to in a moment, and high map, which we're going to visualize a little bit better in a moment. So, well, the first thing I want to do is organize my interface a little bit because I feel like it's very cramped here. So what I personally do is to take this cube and then put it here with the Explorer. So it's sharing space with the Explorer. And the 2D viewer, I put it here, sharing space with the library. They share space there too. Okay, so this way we optimize our workspace much better. Because usually the Explorer is not that important, and in the library we can easily access it from this tab. Again, this is something very personal. You can put it wherever you feel comfortable, but this is the way I like to work. Okay, so what we'll do is to add a node that we're going to use to connect multiple output nodes. For this node, I just like to use a blur node. I'm going to come over here and add another texture. Let's put this crease. I'm going to connect it to the blur and visualize it. And you can see the result. It's blurring, but we want to keep this intact. So I'm reducing the intensity to 0. And now I'm going to link this to normal. You can notice a bit of the effect there. I'm also going to link it to ambient occlusion. I connect it, but it comes out really intense. So we need to add another node that's going to better detect the curvature. I'm going to select this link. I'm going to press the spacebar and look for AO, and I select this one that says Ambient Occlusion HBAO. And you can see that it works much better, and it detects the concavities where the ambient occlusion should be. So I'm going to put it here with the others, and finally connect it directly to the high. We can delete this one. So, to visualize the high well, we need to add a tessellation, because in this case, we can't hardly see the depth of this model. I'll zoom in a little bit, and I'm coming in here where it says Materials, Default, Standard Material, and select Tessellation and Displacement. I click there, and it displays all these tabs. In this case, we're interested in the one that says Height, which is the one that controls the shift. Here I already had a default configuration, but this can all be set to 0. And from here, I will control the depth of the height. You can see that when I increase it, it also creates a little bit of volume on the surface. I'm going to increase this panel a little bit so we can see it better. It also creates a little bit of depth. This is how we control where the displacement starts, and this is where we control how much the mesh is going to be subdivided. So you can see that if we have a very low value, we have some noise, for example in this area, then we increase it until the noise disappears. Okay, so here we already have some depth in the material, and if we want to change these values again, we just come back here to Material, Default, and press Edit. When we press Edit, it will come back and show all these panels. So that's it, we have this graphic set up, these two textures we can remove. I'm going back and adjust this, and we're going to save it as a template. To do that, I'm just going to save my file by pressing Ctrl S. And we're going to save it somewhere we can remember. In this case, I'll put it on the C drive. I'm going to create a new folder. I'll name it Custom Template. Open it up and save it. Now we're going to save this graph as a template. So I'm coming to Edit, Preferences, come to Projects, and here we're looking for the General tab. I'm going to click here, and we're going to add a new templates directory. And here we come to disk C. We are going to look for the folder that we created. We select it. Here is Custom Template. I choose Select Folder, and we press OK. Ready. Now if we go to File, and we want to create a new graphic. In the Templates folder, down here at the bottom, we have the Custom PBR, which is the template that we just created. Then we press OK, and it opens up the same template that we just saved. And okay, so with that, we're ready to start creating our first graphics.